Hello, and welcome to all my beautiful, vibrant hearts and ephemeral souls who are Leo suns, have big Leo placements, or are cross watchers for Leo. Welcome to your month ahead messages looking at the month of May 2025. For those who are unfamiliar with how this works, I will use oracle cards to look at your big overarching themes for your month ahead. I will then use the tarot to clarify, get further details and messages. So without further ado, let's dive on in, my friends. I hope you guys had a wonderful April. I'm getting this energy of confusion. I'm seeing a maze. So I don't know if you've been like just having a lot of kind of twists and turns. Things are unclear. Some of you have Leo in your 12th house. We have prosperity at the bottom. It is reversed. I don't usually read oracle cards reversed unless the deck is designed like that. I feel like a lot of you are confused about what your path to prosperity, whatever that might mean for you. This can be literally, with your finances, your career. But, prosperity, much like abundance, has multiple different meanings, right? We can have, we can have an abundance of health, an abundance of love. There's a lot of different ways to prosper in this life. And so a lot of you guys have been trying to figure out what that means. This is 36, that reduces to a 9. I feel like a lot of you guys have been going inward to trying to figure out what prosperity means for you at a larger level. And the key is actually to look outward in this particular situation, and not necessarily to other people's definitions, but to interact with other people, right? Both, it's making me think of how 7 and 9 in numerology are both very spiritual numbers, but 7 tends to be more about like going inward and seeking that connection to something greater in a very personal kind of way, in a very private way. Again, it's you in spirit, right? Whereas 9 is really about connecting to spirituality through others. It's also very much a number of spiritual service. Some of you are trying to figure out what your life purpose is. And I do see that. You've been on a journey, whether you've been looking for this information or not, that over the last month, some events have taken place to help lead you to that insight, to that information. So I don't want to take this, but I want to look at it. Quantum jump, it's 36, which is what we had at the bottom. Okay. Grasshoppers might be significant here. So a lot of you guys, you might be kind of, if you like utilizing the phrase jumping timelines, there's a pretty big quantum leap for you guys, right? Where you're really getting ready to jump into a pretty vast new experience, new expansion. A lot of you guys are about to connect with a totally different, I crossed my eyes, sorry, a totally different community than you are used to. At the bottom is face your fear. We have keep trying, and the card I was going to reach for is attract through glow. Okay, which is also a 9, by the way. These cards, so I feel like there's something that you've been trying to manifest, and what has been at the root of why it has not happened is there is a fear here. We have the Corvid, so this always makes me think of a very mental energy. Some of you guys have some challengingly aspected Mercury placements. But there's a mental energy that has been, there's a thought process. Yeah, we have the one line, right? It's the light and shadow, there's the key, and then boom, we have the prism here. There is a thought process, an idea that once you face that fear or you work with it, you overcome it, will unlock, sorry, I keep bumping stuff, will unlock an entirely new experience for you. So with keep trying coming out, this is something that you've tried multiple times. This might be an avenue you've tried to take multiple times. This might be a way of doing things. It's like you've tried to accomplish this goal multiple times. And a lot of you guys, again, are feeling like maybe tired or like you want to give up on something, but you're very, very close to a significant, I was going to say breakthrough, but I almost said increase. So it's not that your efforts have not been yielding, like they're not doing anything. It just hasn't been the right time, or you've been looking in the wrong place, right? So if you're focusing on one area, the efforts that you have been putting in are manifesting, but they're manifesting in other areas as well. And maybe you haven't really like counted that, right? When you're looking at something. So there's a lot here about, preparing yourself in a really large way. The number 36 is very, very important for you guys. I feel like 37 is also important. Some of you are 36 or 37. But those also reduce down to a 9 and a 10. So again, there's a wrap up and a conclusion that is coming sooner than you might know. I'm seeing 1.5 years. So some of you, this is within 1.5 years. Some of you, you've been at this for 1.5 years. And so it feels like there is something that is taking place having to do with this in your life in the month ahead. Coherence. Here it is. 13 reduces to a 4. The frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for an optimal ability to create the reality we desire. I'm going to look at the other card, but then we're going to talk about that. Breakthrough. That's what we were talking about. Good. Love being right sometimes. It's just... I'll stop being a dingus. I'm just joking. Armadillos might be significant for you guys. You could see an armadillo as a sign in the next month ahead. But what's happening here is, again, we have this almost like prism-like energy here. There is a breakthrough where you're about to start seeing things differently. This is one of two things. The way you've been trying to solve this problem is either you've been trying to solve an emotional problem through logic. Some of you have been trying to, solve an analytical problem based on how you feel about things, right? And a lot of times, especially because we are, you know, as a society, our emotional literacy is increasing, but we still have a lot of work to do, right? So it's not uncommon that we as a society will utilize intellectual spaces and debates and discussions as a way of dealing with our feelings, right? So there might be something where you're trying to solve an emotional issue with logic, or you're trying to solve it's the heart and the mind, right? So there's you might feel like you have really good rationale and reasons for things, but there's an emotional root that is disguised. You are having a big breakthrough, right? So whatever your particular situation is, you are having a big breakthrough. 13 is the death card in the tarot, right? It also reduces to a 4. So that talks a lot about stability. And we have 29 here that reduces down to a 2. So this has a lot to do with the people you align yourself with, having a sense of balance within self, integrating your light and shadow sides, and the partnerships that you seek. And so with all of this coming out, this is where you're seeing something that has been evading you for quite a long time. And again, it opens up a new way of thinking. And this feels like this has a lot to do with how you connect to others, how you create community. But this has everything to do with how you are able to manifest the reality you desire. So let's get some more details. So your big thing this month is that you are having some type of breakthrough. Something is being shown to you. For some, you're witnessing this dynamic in another, and it's outside of yourself, so it kind of helps you see it differently. King of Pentacles, Taurus energy. Some of you are looking at your patterns with finances. Some of you are looking at your patterns when it comes to your self-indulgence, and you're having a big breakthrough. I'm looking at the ox in the background, and so there's kind of a sense of there's a sense of stubbornness I'm getting. It's no, I do things my way, or I don't know, I'm getting this energy of like a reward day, because he's got the cake and the wine. It's no, I did this hard work and now I'm going to reward myself. But there's something where it feels like there are concepts around that stability, right? That's a big theme in this reading. Concepts around your stability that are being re-examined, right? For some, this is about plain and simple who you align yourself with, who you partner with that King of Pentacles. You may have been on a journey to not only be a more stable person within yourself, but also to attract that into your life in, family relationships, friendships, romantic partners, collaborators, to attract that King of Pentacles. So let's see what we have. Page of Pentacles. Yep. The Queen of Wands. Okay, so we have Capricorn, we have Leo right there, and the Four of Pentacles. This is what I feel like is at play here. A lot of you guys with the King of Pentacles, the Page, you want to be entrepreneurs. You would like to own your own business. You'd like to be successful financially, and just also in terms of, with the Queen of Wands, your reputation. It feels like what's at play here is that you have two sides of yourself that you're trying to kind of harmonize, right? There's the practical side that feels like that's that logic of the mind, right? That craves a certain amount of stability. And there's the side of yourself that likes to take chances. And so these two sides are kind of duking it out here, right? And this is where we get that coherence, the heart and the mind. So for some of you, this will be about starting a new career, starting a new business venture. For some of you, this is just about how you show up. And it's interesting because you have this inner self with the Queen of Wands that is dynamic. And this doesn't even have to just be your inner self. But because we have a page, right, in the material and a queen in the spiritual element, this inner self that is dynamic, that is this like sleeping dragon, creative powerhouse, right? Somebody who is deeply passionate about life. There's a hummingbird on this card. So there's a lot here about very, joyful and present in the moment. You have a lot of these like very endearing qualities of the spirit. Some of you, you're very, very charismatic. You might be just kind of coming into awareness of this, or like you're kind of almost like fine-tuning it, learning how to work with that a little bit more. But it feels like these two sides of yourself that have kind of stopped you from moving forward is somebody who likes to make small moves, somebody who likes to play it safe, somebody who also feels like it will take a long time, right? That King of Pentacles doesn't get that way overnight. And I feel as if there's that side of you, and then there's this side of you that is passionate and unapologetic, that is creative, that is very bold and very self-confident, as well as confident in spirit, right? Like, I'm just going to make the leap because I know the universe is going to catch me, right? That's her. That's the Queen of Wands all day. Somebody who also, with the black cat, trusts their intuition about the moves they want to make, right? See how here the cat's trying to get like her attention, catching the flowers. Here the cat is hiding behind the page, a little bit like a little skittish, a little afraid here. So for some of you, it feels like this kind of push-pull. This is what has kind of kept you stuck a little bit with the Four of Pentacles. Now the Four of Pentacles is stability, right? Like how the cat here is like looking at the open window, right? Wanting something more. The Four of Pentacles is stability, but it is also stagnancy, right? That's the issue with the number 4, is that there's both, right? We need to have a healthy balance, lest one kind of start to pendulately become the other. And there's a sense here where some of you guys, this is manifesting where you just tell yourself like, I'm not ready yet. It's going to take a really long time. And it holds you back from moves that actually you're ready to make, right? You have the skills, I think you underestimate this quality about yourself. Even if you know that you have this, you might underestimate its value, but there's a sense of like holding yourself back a little bit. Some of you are this Queen of Wands energy, and you align yourself with this Page of Pentacles instead of a King of Pentacles, right? And maybe it's because you've been really working on yourself with the Queen of Wands. You've been working on your sense, like your power of attraction. You've been kind of like finding, she's holding flowers here. So there's like a victorious energy, right? You've been finding those things about yourself that you love and appreciate. And it's time for you to align with new types of people, right? People who can really meet you where you're at. People who can support you, whether it's literally like bankroll your projects, invest, or just can show up for you consistently. People who are also, I'm getting, not threatened by your confidence, by your aura, by your magnetism, by your success. And so this push-pull within self is what's kept you stuck, right? And that's, again, that, the practical, right? The mind, and then the spiritual, the heart, what your passions are asking you for. And so it feels like this is a month where you are having a breakthrough. So I want to know more about what that breakthrough is. Page of Wands. Okay. A lot of you guys are getting playful, super playful. Aries energy with that. The Four of Swords. Okay. And the Two of Pentacles. This feels like, ooh, yeah, death was sticking out. Scorpio energy as well. And the moon is at the bottom, Cancer's energy. A lot of you guys are weighing whether or not to start a new journey. You've been in this place of contemplation, I feel, for a long time. You may have been in a healing period that's brought you to this Queen of Wands, right? And so you've been kind of here for a while, and it's been beneficial. It has been, we have a lot of 4s again in this kind of, this reading. It's been beneficial. It has been a good time to ground, to get centered. It has been a very stabilizing period in your life. And it feels like, pardon my itchy nose, this breakthrough is about sort of trying to weigh, do I need more time before I take action, or do I just go for it, right? The Page of Wands is all leap, no look, like, and this is usually a problem, but because we have this balanced out with the Queen of Wands, I think it's interesting. We have the pages and then the kings and queens of the same suit. And so this feels like it is always a good idea to be optimistically cautious but cautiousness can sometimes turn into timidity, which keeps us from making the confident moves we need to make in order to try things, right? To put ourselves out there. And it feels like that's kind of, you're at risk of getting stuck there, right? Of almost like the balance being lost and staying in one place too long. Again, for some of you, you just tell yourself like, oh, I'm not going to be ready to debut this skill for a long time. Like, yeah, I'm going to have to work at this for a super duper long time before I make these moves. And you're preparing yourself for that. And that's not necessarily, that's not wrong, but you underestimate the power of what you're going to make, right? You underestimate the Queen of Wands. She has to believe in herself because a lot of what she brings to the table, it's nebulous and undefined, right? So she's like, if you were to put it in like, practical worldly terms, you could label her as like a creative, right? A creative director. You could label her as a great networker. Those are the skills that you see her display that you can clock as like financially viable, especially, right? But like something where it is productive. And so a lot of you guys, but there's a magic with her, right? There's an absolute magic with the Queen of Wands. And it's something that we have a hard time quantifying. We have a hard time fully kind of, putting a finger on what it is, but it is unique and special, and it often represents something that many of us are reaching for within ourselves. And that's why she's so magical, because people just want to be around her, people want to understand. And a lot of you guys have that quality, right? You're Leo. You have that quality here. And there's kind of a need to be willing to move forward with excitement on a new journey. We have a lot of brand new energy here, right? That you've stayed in this healing period, in this reflective period for as long as you need to, and that it's time to make a move. And I actually feel like for you guys, it's going to be more successful, where did I put it, than you may have thought. I want to know a little more though. Yeah, the Four of Wands. This feels like this is about connecting with your people. Some of you, this is a literal move. We have fours, which is very much, again, like, stability, but like house and home energy. We have fours all over this reading. It is a tour de fours. I know it's a bad joke. I can't help myself. This is about, finding your people. This is about finding people who support, again, your passion, support your joy. They're cheering you on. A lot of you guys want to be connected with people who are like-minded and who are, kindred spirits, right? Of like souls. The Ace of Wands and Temperance here. And there's this it feels like this is a beautiful blend of being passionate enough to go after your desires, to really throw your heart and soul into it, but balanced enough to not let it consume you, to not let it destabilize you. And so maybe in the past you kind of pendulently swung between these two things, and you've been in a healing period with Temperance and the Four of Swords, and now you're in a place where you're ready to move forward. There's a lot, like I said, of brand new energy. Some of you are ready to try a new creative hobby. Some of you, you're ready to start hanging out with new groups of people. And so it does feel like this breakthrough that's coming this month is this awareness about the fact that it's time to make a move. These pages tell me that this month, it feels like the breakthrough is either you're getting excited about something and or putting into action a new practice. So you're joining that new hobby group. You are, saying yes to that new job. You're going on that trip that like sparks off this huge, wave of discovery. You're relocating to a new place. I'm just going to take a sip of my tea. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. You're getting excited about the future and about what your life has to offer. And I feel like this either directly connects you with the Four of Wands to other people who are excited with and for you, or puts you on a path to go find those people. So there is a confidence here in being able to, again, harmonize the practical with the spiritual, as well as the heart and the mind. And so there is a big breakthrough in how that takes form. And a lot of this breakthrough has to do with that feeling of passion and excitement that inspires you to take some type of action. For some of you, this is something where the wheels are already in motion. They're on the bus, they go round and round, but it's already in motion, but you're getting very excited this month, right? It's not just taking the steps that you need to take with this Page of Pentacles. With the Page of Wands, it's getting excited. And the Queen of Wands, it's feeling empowered, like you can handle the change that's in front of you. There's a lot of fire. It's pretty much all fire and earth in this. Actually, it is, except for the Four of Swords. It's all fire and earth in here. So there's a beautiful marriage between the spiritual and the earthly that's taking place in your life. And it feels like you're in a really, like, these are very lovely energies with the Ace of Wands, the Four of Wands, Temperance. Like, this is a very balanced place to be. And if you've had trouble striking that balance before, it feels like this is something where you're gonna be able to do that. You're in a place where you have kind of, created enough mastery of both sides of the spectrum to be able to take a blended, equilibrated approach to your journey and your path ahead. So that is what I am seeing for you guys for your month ahead. I hope this has been helpful. I want to wish you a beautiful, safe, happy, healthy May, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.